The idea of an Air Force in the 1860s seems ludicrous, considering the airplane was invented in 1903, but President Lincoln in 1861 created what would be the first aerial reconnaissance program in U.S. history. Today, I will tell you about the lesser-known Union Army Balloon Corps. This tale begins when the Smithsonian Institution Secretary Joseph Henry instructed Thaddeus Lowe to inflate his balloon at the Columbia Armory in Washington, D.C. Thaddeus Lowe was one of the nation's most famous aerial showmen since 1857. Lowe's dream was to fly a balloon across the Atlantic Ocean, but when his plans fell apart, Lowe was urged by Joseph Henry to travel to Washington, D.C. to show President Lincoln how ballooning could be an asset in the ongoing Civil War. Lowe listened to Henry and proceeded to make a series of tethered ascents in front of the armory. The most significant ascent came on June 18, 1861, when Lowe made a tethered ascent 500 feet above Washington, D.C. Lowe was accompanied by Herbert Robinson, who was a telegrapher, and George Burns, who was the supervisor of the telegraph company. While in the air, Lowe and his team sent a telegraph to President Lincoln, which stated, "To the President of the United States, this point of observation commands an area nearly 50 miles in diameter. The city, with its girdle of encampments, presents a superb scene. I take pleasure in sending you this first dispatch ever telegraphed from an aerial station, and in acknowledging indebtedness to your encouragement for the opportunity of demonstrating the availability of the science of aeronautics in the military service of the country. Yours respectfully, Thaddeus Lowe." This demonstration marked three firsts: the first electrical communication from an aircraft to the ground, the first such communication to a president of the United States, and the first real-time transmission of reconnaissance data from an airborne platform. President Lincoln was impressed by Lowe's demonstration, and 2 months later, Lincoln established the Union Army Balloon Corps. Lowe was appointed to Chief Aeronaut, which was in charge of 7 balloons and 9 balloonists. During the next 2 years, Lowe and his balloonists made thousands of reconnaissance flights over various battles, like the Peninsula Campaign, the Battle of Fredericksburg, the Battle of Chancellorsville, and more. The Balloon Corps had some success during the Peninsula Campaign, when Lowe detected a large concentration of Confederate troops preparing to attack before the Battle of Fair Oaks. Despite some success, the Balloon Corps drew criticism for their balloons being unwieldy and slow. Additionally, the Confederate troops adapted to the balloonists after realizing it was too high for cannonballs to reach it. Confederate soldiers camouflaged their encampments and blacked out their camps after learning the balloonists counted campfires to estimate troop strength. For the daytime, Confederate soldiers painted logs black to make them look like cannons. The growing issues and criticism led to the Balloon Corps' dissolution in 1863. As a quick side note, the Confederates also created a balloon corps, but theirs was much smaller and unsuccessful. Also, it's important to understand the influence the Union Army Balloon Corps had on aerial reconnaissance. Thaddeus Lowe paved the way for the future reconnaissance aircrafts like the U-2 and the A-12, and for this, Lowe is regarded as the father of military reconnaissance in the United States. And lastly, I want to know what you think about this video. Did you already know about the Union Army Balloon Corps? And if not, did you find this interesting? I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, you should subscribe and click the bell to get instant updates on when I upload next. With all that said, I hope to see you in the next chapter.